Welcome back. So, City Spies, Truly Devious, and RayBearer. Only one of these books I rated 5 stars. Hi, I am Michelle, otherwise known as bookedwithSmitty. Today I'll be reviewing and rating the books that I read for the month of July. So let's get into it. Okay, now, so if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I like to use interactive templates. So this one I got from WordWall. I will link the information down below. So it's just a different template. This is the group sorting template. All you do is you put whatever book and picture that you want and whatever categories you want the books to be sorted in, and that's it. Voila, it's free. Well, at least this part of it is free. There's other parts that you have to pay for, but I mean, I'm cheap. I found the free stuff. So in any case, the way it works is that I will rate the books and then I will just slide into whatever category that it meets. Now you see, I only have 3 to 5 stars. I don't have 1 and 2, but you can add 1 and 2 stars. I just did not read any book that was a 1 and 2 star, so I didn't need to put 1 and 2 star there. And so that's it. So let's get into this book review. Okay, we're going to start with Truly Devious, which is a book set in Ellingham Academy, which is a famous private school in Vermont for the brightest thinkers, inventors, and artists. So it's not a school where you can, take a test or have a high GPA. It's really whoever has the brightest talent of any kind can get accepted into the school. And they're not even really accepted into the school. They're really chosen for the school. When they're accepted into the school, their tuition is paid for in full. They don't have to worry about anything. Now, shortly after the school opened, the wife and daughter of the founder of the school were kidnapped, and the only real clue was a mocking riddle listing methods of murder signed with the frightening pseudonym Truly Devious. So it becomes one of the greatest unsolved crimes of American history. So fast forward to now, where true crime aficionado Stevie Bell, who's set to begin her first year at Ellingham Academy, has this ambitious plan to be the person to solve this cold case murder. Now, it started off kind of slow for me because, like most books, the authors have to do a backstory so you can get an understanding of the character. And so the author spent time talking about the wife and the daughter that were kidnapped when the school first opened. And then it fast forward to today where, Stevie Bell, who is now set to be a student at the school. So it was a little confusing for me in the beginning, but then it cleared itself out and then the story picked up and it made sense to me. So at the end of the day, I gave this book 4 stars. So now there's 2 other parts to this book, so we'll see how the other 2 parts are, but so far I'm excited about what I read. All right, the next book is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. So if you love The Poet X, I promise you're going to love Clap When You Land. This book is a novel in verse also, but this time it brims with grief and love. So you have the 2 girls. One is Camino Rios, and she lives for the summer when her father visits her in the Dominican Republic. But something happens on the day that he's supposed to arrive. The plane lands and everybody is crying and she doesn't know what's going on. Now fast forward to, well, not even fast forward, switch over, because it's the same time period. Switch over to New York City, where Yahiria Rios, she's called to the principal's office where her mother is waiting to tell her that her father, her hero, has died in a plane crash. So these 2 girls, who are 2 opposite sides of the world, are learning about a tragedy that happened with their dad, but they're also learning throughout this book how their lives are connected together in some kind of way. So this book is absolutely, Elizabeth Acevedo so far has done me no wrong. Clap When You Land is a 5-star book. Like I said, if you have read Poet X and you loved it, you will love Clap When You Land. All right, the next The next book is Slay by Brittany Morris, and this is hands down one of the best books that I read so far this year. This story is about a girl named Kiara Johnson. She's 17 years old. She's an honor student, a math tutor, and one of the only black kids at Jefferson Academy. But at home, she joins hundreds of thousands of black gamers who duel worldwide as Nubian personas in a secret multiplayer online role-playing card game called Slay. Now, no one knows that Kiara is the game developer, not her friends, her family, not even her boyfriend Malcolm, who believes video games are partially responsible for the downfall of the black man. But when a teen in Kansas City is murdered over a dispute in the slave world, news of the game reaches mainstream media, and Slay is labeled a racist, exclusionist, violent hub for thugs and criminals. Even worse, an anonymous troll infiltrates the game, threatening to sue Kiara for anti-white discrimination. And so Kiara spends most of the book fighting for her name. And that she should get the respect that she deserves for having creating this game from scratch that nobody else thought of. Like, this game is, I mean, Slay by Brittany Morris is absolutely fabulous. I've said it before and I will say it again. Brittany Morris writes words that make you feel like you are in the book. Her words are that fabulous. She paints every single picture, every single scene, the world building is just amazing. I love it. And like, I can't say anything wrong about this book. If you're not reading anything by Brittany Morris, I suggest you start reading books by Brittany Morris, especially if you have teens, because everything that Brittany Morris has written in this book, although yes, this is a fiction book, the events are real. These events are happening now. These are current events that are happening now. So to have discussions with your children, or if you're a teacher, have discussion with your students about the things that are going on in this world and just how things are being perceived by other people, or the judgment that we place on other people. Just, yeah. I mean, this is a 5-star book for me. There's just no doubt about it. Like, as I was reading, I wasn't even halfway through with the book, and I was like, yeah, this book hands down is 5-star. Next book is Joanne Fluke's Strawberry Shortcake Murder. So this is a cozy mystery. Joanne Fluke, she writes a lot of books like Blueberry Muffin Murder, Strawberry Shortcake Murder, Boston Cream Pie Murder. It's always some carb filled snack that she has titled her mystery novels about. It's usually some small town like Vermont or something like that, where everybody knows each other, and the mystery is not hard to solve. That being said, I love mysteries, but I love cozy mysteries sometimes, because this is one of those quick books that you can read where you don't have to overthink anything. But I actually read this book for a challenge where I had to find a book with a flavor in the title, and Strawberry Shortcake Murder was it. At the end of the day, this is a 3-star book. This is also the kind of books that's very predictable. It's not good, not bad. It's just right in the middle, and it's a safe book to read, especially when you want to clear your head. All right, the next book I read was The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Bashiras. So this was a book that I read because I had to fulfill a prompt where the story was set in a Mediterranean country, and in this book there's 4 teenage girls who it's summer break and they're going their separate ways for the summer, and one of the characters goes to Greece for the summer, and so that's the Mediterranean country that they're visiting. And the idea is they went shopping one day and they found these pants, and the pants are supposed to travel between each girl, and that's how they're chronologizing what they did over the summer, since they're not together to be with each other through the ups and downs over the summer. So this book was a quick book read for me. I really was kind of scanning the book because I watched the movie years ago when it first came out. I mean, this was out a long time ago, like 2001. I feel like I was in high school when so don't even ask me. That was a long time ago. Maybe I was a little older. I'm not sure. But in any case, because I knew the movie, the book, I just sort of sped through it really quickly. At the end of the day, I gave this 3 stars. The next book I had to read was RayBearer, and yes, RayBearer, RayBearer, RayBearer. I mean, the cover is so gorgeous and so beautiful. And oh my gosh, I want it. I really tried with this book. In any case, the book is about a girl named Tarasti. I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong. She's always wanted to be a part of a family. She was raised in isolation by a mysterious, often absent mother known as the Lady. And the Lady sends her to the capital of the global empire of Aristar to compete with other children to be chosen as one of the Crown Prince's Council of 11. Now, if she's picked, she'll be joined with the other council members through the Ray, a bond deeper than blood. That closeness is irresistible to Tarasai, I think, who has always wanted to belong somewhere. But the lady has other ideas, including a magical wish that Tarasai is compelled to obey. She must kill the crown prince once she gains his trust. Now, she doesn't want to do that. So, that's really what this story is about, RayBearer, and by Jordan and Forco. And look, I had to DNF this book. It was very complex. The world building in this story, I mean, she does a good job in developing the world, but it's just so complex for a newbie fantasy reader like me to get at. I just was like, I did not know what was going on, so I DNF'd this book. But then I came back to the book because, of course, I wanted to give it another shot. Everybody's saying great things about it. And I'm like, okay, Michelle, don't give up. Let's try again. So this time when I picked up the book, I did a whole bunch of, as you can see, I had to annotate this book to get through it. Like all the tabs. This whole entire book is tabbed. That was the only way I could get through this book because it is just so complex. Then at the end, I get all the way to the end, and I'm like, what do I see when I get all the way to the end? A glossary. If I knew there was a glossary at the end, that probably would have helped me read the story. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, RayBearer lovers. I had to give this 3. Now, I am open to giving it a shot now that I know that there's a glossary in the back. Now that I know that there's a glossary in the back, I'm open to give this book a shot again next year when my head clears, because this was rough. I'm not saying rough in a bad way. Again, I am a newbie fantasy reader. It's also like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is so complex. Like even watching it even watching a TV show is complex. So I've DNF Game of Thrones like 10 times. But I keep trying to persevere because I say one day I'm going to break it. One day I'm going to really understand the Game of Thrones. So RayBearer reminded me of like the Game of Thrones where it was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? But in any case, I'm not saying it's a bad book. But when I got to the end, I will honestly say that I did understand what the book was about. But because it was just so complex, I would have to reread it again. I'm not really big in rereading books because I'm the type of person, once I know the story, I'm just going to start scanning, and I'm not going to really read it and give it a fair shot. But this book, I can honestly say I would probably just reread it again now that I have a better understanding. And I am getting better with understanding the language that is fantasy. Now I have rated it 3 stars. I mean, that's better than DNF because I actually DNF'd it. Like I said, I was like, I don't know. I literally got halfway in the book and I was like, I can't even speak one thing about this book. Like one, without reading it, I can't. But now I actually can. Yeah, I can speak a little bit about the book. But I would also say, because I'm a reader who, I'm the type of reader who reads with the physical or ebook, plus I listen to the audio. The audio is fabulous. Like whoever is narrating the characters in the audio, it is fabulous. And that also helped me get through the book. So especially when he was doing the singing and the chanting, that really helped me. But sorry, RayBearer lovers. God, the cover is still gorgeous though. It's still gorgeous. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so City Spies by James Ponti. That is the first book in a sequel about a girl named Sarah Martinez who's a hacker. Now, Sarah Martina, she breaks into the New York City foster care system because she wants to expose her foster parents as being cheats and lawbreakers. But instead, she gets hailed a hero, and when she gets landed into juvenile detective, I'm sorry, when she gets landed in juvenile detention, she's banned from using computers. Um, So here comes this man known as Mother who sort of whisks her away from the juvenile detention center and recruits her into this spy academy along with other students who are in this spy academy. They all have special talents, and yeah, this book was really good. I did love it, so I gave it 4 stars. So the next book is The Wishing Spell, The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. And the story tells the tale of twins Alex and Connor. It's a girl and a boy. And through the mysterious powers of a cherished book of stories they leave their world behind and find themselves in a foreign land full of wonder and magic where they come face to face with the fairy tale characters they grew up reading about. So they're in school and the teacher is teaching them about different kinds of fairy tales. And one day they get sucked into this magical book and in the fairy land of the stories that they've been reading. So you have the Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and all those fairy tales that you know and love. They sort of, in order to get out of the land of stories and get back into real life, they sort of have to find certain clues and pick up certain trinkets in order to come back into the real world that they know. So this book is a retelling, obviously, of fairy tales the way we know and love it. So I love this book. Again, I'm a person who reads with the actual book or the ebook along with listening to the audiobook, and the narrator in the audiobook is fantastic. The boy character is hilarious. I mean, I was laughing the whole, I mean, he was just hilarious. And then there's music playing throughout the whole entire time, so you feel like you're watching a movie even though you're listening to the audio. And because I'm reading a book, for some reason I felt like I was watching a movie. This book was fantastic, so I gave this book 5 stars. I'm excited to read the next one. Just I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I just thought it was just gonna be some little fairy tale story. But I mean, I don't know. I think the audio is what took it over the top for me. I don't think I would have rated it 5 star if I wasn't listening. I don't think I would have rated it 5 star if I wasn't listening to the audio. So if I think if I was just reading the book, it might have been 4 star, but the audio took it over the top for me and made it a 5 star book. So, and the last book is the second part of the Harry Potter series, The Chamber of Secrets, and trying to remember. Oh yeah, that was a 5 star book. So yeah, I mean, cut and dry. That's it. It is what it is. So there was a marathon playing with the movies, and so when I saw the marathon, I was like, oh, I should reread the books all over again. And so that's what I'm doing. So I mean, the books are fabulous. It was fabulous then. It's fabulous now, and I think somewhere around book 4 or 5 is when it started falling at the waistline for me. So we'll see. Because I'm reading the third one right now, but with that being said, I hope you found my rating and my review system interesting, that you'll come on back by liking and subscribing and hitting the bell so that you can be notified when I upload more content. Thank you for coming back and have a blessed day.